Exposure to English is one of the fundamental tasks of the serious learner. Every polyglot will tell you that their most effective strategy is making sure that they have sufficient exposure to the language they're learning. So yes, listen to music in English. Yes, watch films and series on Netflix. Yes, listen to TED Talks. Yes, listen to podcasts. Definitely. All of these things are very useful. But there's one thing to reflect on when you decide to expose yourself either by reading or listening to English. And it is this. What are your choices about? What is the quality of the content you're exposing yourself to? Making sure that you listen to and read high-quality material will ensure high-quality acquisition. And what higher quality than learning about how to come into direct contact with your experience in the present moment through the best spiritual teachers of our time. Some of them are not native English speakers, but they do speak in English. There are so many benefits to be derived from listening to and reading their teachings. Let's take a look together at how my top 5 spiritual teachers can help you transform your English. If you haven't done so yet, click the subscribe button and invite the bell to be notified every time I upload new content, which will be relevant to you if you are looking to overcome that intermediate plateau and become proficient. Hello, my name is Tanya Meyer, and I am an English teacher as a foreign language to adults, specializing in mindfulness practices to enhance and improve language acquisition and use. Mindfulness has more than transformed, revolutionized my own life. From stressed, depressed, and overwhelmed to light and free and confident within myself. And so it's my own experience of deep transformation that I integrate into my interactions with everybody, including clients and learners. Okay, ready? Here we go. The first spiritual teacher I'd like to recommend is Deepak Chopra. Deepak Chopra was born in New Delhi in India, which means that he speaks English with an Indian accent, and that can be very helpful to you if you have difficulty understanding non-native English speakers. By exposing yourself to somebody who has an accent that you might find challenging, you become more skilled at understanding not only that person, but everybody else who might share that accent. Now, Deepak Chopra has written countless books and has a wide range of interests. He himself is a doctor, so he has a scientific perspective, and he's interested in things like quantum physics and also very interesting topics like abundance and wealth and this kind of thing. And so his English is very approachable, and he's a very popular teacher who has worked with celebrities and other doctors and spiritual teachers, and he really is a prolific teacher with many podcasts and YouTube interviews, but he also has his own app called Chopra and his own YouTube channel. The second spiritual teacher I'd like to recommend is an American psychologist called Tara Brach. Now, she was born in New Jersey, which is the east coast of the US, and so she has a native US English accent. And she's a psychologist who has written several books and is a proponent of Buddhist meditation. She is a guiding teacher and founder of the Insight Meditation Community in Washington. And you can find many of her guided meditations on an app called Insight Timer. One of the things I like most about Tara is that she explains mental and emotional phenomena in great detail. So she talks about our sense perception and our fields of awareness. Her guided meditations are very helpful to open us up to the present moment, our experience in the present moment. She's written several books and offers teaching, resources, and online courses in her website. Perhaps her most significant teaching for me has been one called Radical Acceptance. The power of mindfulness and meditation to open up to what arises in the present moment and free ourselves from blame and resentment and other unhelpful mental states. Follow her for exposure to native US American English and extremely interesting talks about the interface between Buddhist and Western psychology in addressing the great suffering that arises from closing our hearts to ourselves and to others. The third teacher I'd like to share with you is called Pema Chödrön. Pema Chödrön is a Buddhist nun in the Shambhala tradition, and she's the abbess at Gampo Abbey in Nova Scotia, Canada. Now, what's interesting about Pema is that she was married and had children before becoming a nun. So now, today, she's an elderly lady, and of course she wears the robes of a nun and the very short hair, but she does have young grandchildren, and so occasionally you can see her walking down the street with her granddaughter, and she tells very funny stories about her life whenever she's interviewed. She has also written several books, and my favorite is called When Things Fall Apart. I've read this book several times, and it has helped me through difficult times, when things fall apart. What Pema Chödrön reminds us is that everything is impermanent, and whatever it is that's happening right now, however incompetent or sad or just, sometimes we might even be unfortunate enough to fall into despair, then, just remembering that things are impermanent and reading through her ways of helping ourselves pick ourselves up and pull ourselves together has been really helpful for me. Her website contains videos, courses, and a lot more information on her foundation called the Pema Chödrön Foundation. Have you heard of Chopra, Tara Brach, or Pema Chödrön? Have you read any of their material or listened to any of their teachings or seen them in an interview? Comment below with something you've learned from any of these teachers. How have they helped you? I'm looking forward to interacting with you right here on YouTube. And yes, I read every comment and I'll respond. Perhaps we can even start a conversation. Okay, next is Eckhart Tolle, a German spiritual teacher who has written 2 revolutionary books. The first is called The Power of Now, and the second, A New Earth, Awakening to Your Life's Purpose. I actually have A New Earth, the audiobook, which was recorded by him, so it's his own book, read by him, and I have it in my iPod in my car. Yes, I still listen to an iPod, and it's set up in such a way that songs just, appear randomly. And so I listen to Eckhart Tolle quite often. One of his chapters will just appear randomly as I'm driving along in my car. And it's very helpful to hear his soothing voice and to listen to his teachings. Eckhart's main teaching is that our sole responsibility is to be aware of our mental state at any given moment. And one of the things I like the most about him is his equanimity, his clear vision, and the way in which he explains our spiritual dimension in terms of consciousness itself and awareness beyond ego. He sees ego as the current state of the world, which is easy to see if you just open up any newspaper. And he really is an erudite teacher, intermingling his own teachings with quotes from the Bible, from sacred Hindu texts, the Quran, and many other spiritual teachings, including, of course, Buddhist philosophy. In his book, A New Earth, he talks about the 3 modalities of doing, and that's very interesting. But he also has other theories on our pain body and the ego, about conscious parenting, and he really does dive deep into what it means to be human. How is this not fascinating? To talk about who we are and what we're doing here. To delve a little bit deeper into our own experience of being alive and finding the miracle of awareness within ourselves. Okay, last but not least, I want to speak about the spiritual teacher who has transformed my life the most. It is the teacher I speak about, and he is the Vietnamese Buddhist monk and Zen master Thich Hanh. There aren't enough words or time for me to explain the ways in which this man has revolutionized my life. Thich Nhat Hanh is known to his monastic students and lay followers as Thai. Thai means dear, beloved, and respected teacher in Vietnamese. So, Thich Nhat Hanh, Thai. I stumbled across him almost by accident at the beginning of 2014, and it was impulsively that I booked a ticket to travel to Bordeaux in the south of France to stay at Plum Village, which is his cradle monastery, and stay there for a week. His main message is compassion and understanding. Wouldn't you agree that we need a little bit more of that? You know, the first time I heard Thich Nhat Hanh speak, and his voice was so soft and so kind, and I was extremely touched to listen, because I knew that this softness came not from an inherent softness in him, but from his compassion, from his understanding. And I could see that he was a man with vision, purpose, and deep love. Before I arrived in Plum Village, during that last week of July in 2014, my heart was filled with pain and anger. I had experienced great loss and didn't know how to handle it. I also appeared to be making matters worse rather than finding solutions for the situation that I was in. But by the time I left that retreat, I knew what I had to do. I had a path to follow. I had found a path I could walk on with confidence, and I had a community of practitioners to practice with regularly. From that moment onwards, the quality of my life has been immeasurably improved. Of course, there have been problems, obstacles, challenges, But Thich Nhat Hanh is the most inspiring teacher I have ever had the fortune to come across in my life. His message is peace and joy and understanding, brotherhood and sisterhood, speaking kindly and listening deeply. He stands for taking care of ourselves and of each other and of this beautiful planet, Mother Earth. Trust me that your time will be well invested if you decide to read one of Thich Nhat Hanh's books, or listen to one of his talks on YouTube, or to one of the talks given by any of his monastic students. Thich Nhat Hanh's language is simple and approachable, and so listening to his talks will not only contribute to your own well-being and to the well-being of everyone around you, but you will have added the bonus of practicing your listening skills. Right. Remember to like this video if you found it helpful at all. And remember also that it doesn't matter who you are or what you do, whether you're an accountant, a business person, an architect, a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer, whether you work for a company or you have your own company, we all share the experience of being human. We all face challenges in life, and for most of my clients, English is one of them. And so facing our challenges and becoming more skillful at managing them is precisely what spiritual teachings help us do. And so it makes perfect sense to bring a spiritual dimension into the progress that we make with English. All of these teachers have contributed one way or another to my deeper understanding of what kind of world I want to be a part of and what kind of contribution I want to make. And that is a world where people support one another and work together towards harmony and interconnection. I'll leave links to all the teachers' pages in the description page below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.